Joining us now, member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Texas Congressman Keith Self. Congressman, the Biden administration is now saying that they've made an agreement with Qatar, right? They're keeping that $6 billion in Iranian funds frozen until further notice. That's what they've said. They said not a dime of that money has been touched. But what's interesting here is that they can talk about the money for Iran. They can talk about how they're freezing it, but they will not say that Iran is involved in this conflict now that we're seeing with the Hamas attack against Israel.
Iran has been involved with Hamas for years and years and years. They've been funding Hamas. This $6 billion is getting all the attention, but what about the $30 billion that Iran is getting in oil sales to China? There is no doubt the long term that Iran is the primary funder of Hamas.
How concerned are you that Russia was involved in the planning here? Because you know what we're not talking about, what we haven't been talking about for the last 8 days now is the war in Ukraine, and Russia just launched a major counteroffensive to try and take the entirety of the Donbass region and really push up against the borders of the capital city of Kyiv. How concerned are you that Russia said to Iran, yeah, go ahead and do this. We are by far Israel's biggest ally, and Israel's our biggest ally in the Middle East, and we're also funding the war in Ukraine?
We're still paying the price for the weakness of the Biden administration in Afghanistan and other ways, to include trying to talk about going back into the JCPOA with Iran. We have an evil axis today of China, Russia, and Iran. Some people throw in North Korea, but those three major countries are working together to destabilize America around the world, to delegitimize our allies, and frankly, to take down the U.S. dollar as the reserve currency of the world.
Let's talk about our border now, right? Because the leader of Hamas calling for an international day of jihad, which obviously is freaking out a lot of people here in America. Yeah. Security is ramping up. Let's also, with the border, how that plays into it is we've had a record number of border crossings this year. Is the United States currently in a position to fight off a similar attack at home if it were to happen?
Absolutely, we could do that, but we got to understand, we do not know how many terrorists have crossed our southern border in the last 2 years. We're now talking about 10,000 people a day coming across. We're talking about known military-age males crossing the border, thousands of them. So, yes, we could defend ourselves, but it would not be pretty. It would not be easy. But we can do that. But we've got to understand that the attack on Israel would have been like 30,000 Americans dying on 9/11. So if we have a similar attack in the United States, we are going to suffer some casualties. So I just ask everybody to be very aware. We have sleeper cells, we know, around the United States.
Hamas sleeper cells?
Very aware today.
Hamas sleeper cells?
Probably further than Hamas. I don't know, but I will tell you that from what we've seen crossing the border, I have no doubt at all that we have sleeper cells across the United States.
Look, 19 hijackers in 2001 with box cutters beat the CIA, the FBI, the TSA, and guys, Mossad terrorists on hang gliders beat Mossad on Saturday. So who's to say this couldn't happen here with the crisis at the southern border? I think people are pretty concerned, Congressman, and I hope that people are taking this as seriously as possible in the halls of Congress. We got to leave it there. We'll pick this back up soon. Congressman Keith Self, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.